Oh no, I got that wrong already. My name is Shah. I'm from the class of 2020. Just anxious about so many things as a child. Like when people say, "Oh, I wish I could go back to being a child when it was so much more simple." I'm like, "Huh, it's not." And one time I was, like my leg was in a bus and then I was dragged outside the bus for some distance. My suite mates recently told me that they can't borrow any of my clothes because I dress too Victorian. Oh. um, yeah, I love animals. I got a cat when I was around 15 because my parents were very worried about the levels of anxiety that I was facing, and so they were like, okay, you can either go see a doctor or you can get a cat. So I had a cat named Fish up until December last year, actually, because he passed away. But he was my best friend. I don't know, like I felt like he was my son. Like when he got sick towards the end, I was kind of like, oh my god, this is terrible, I'm never having kids, because it's just like it's so much. I've grown up here my whole life, but my mom is Indonesian and my dad is Arab. I've stopped being surprised, but when I was in Germany over the summer, someone asked me where I was from, and I said, oh, I'm from Singapore. And he was like, oh, where is that? And I was like, oh, it's a country in Asia. And he looked at me and he said, oh, but you're not Asian. And I was like, you caught me. I mean, like, what? As a child, I would only speak Bahasa, and it got to the point where my mom had to stop speaking to me in it to force me to learn English. So every time I talked to her, she would just look at me and say, I'm sorry, I don't understand. Like, I'm more comfortable than when I was a child speaking English, but I miss having people around to speak like Malay or Bahasa Indonesia with me. I used to speak it with my cat. I like how at home or with some Malay friends, like, you can call each other sayang. It means like love, like you can use it as a verb or as like a pet name, but it also means like, oh, what a waste. I think that everything around me is alive in a way that I don't understand. And I don't think that being a vegetarian is necessarily like the morally correct thing to do, because, I don't know, plants are also alive, and like if I could, I would eat nothing, but I have to eat something. I don't understand how people eat chicken wings so casually, like your food has bones. One time I was in the lift with someone, and I was feeling very, I don't know, just kind of awkward, and so I was singing to myself, just act like a person, just act like a person. And then I realized I was saying it out loud. I believe in ghosts, not because it's outside of my character, but I think just most people here don't, which is like, it's insane to me that you could be in Southeast Asia and not believe in ghosts, because I think that's just crazy. I think one reason why I was so anxious as a child was because I kept seeing ghosts. It started with this one old lady that I would see standing next to my bed at night, and I would wake up and she would be there. I haven't seen a ghost on campus, but there are sections of campus that I think are haunted, like the second floor of the performance hall. The bridge is terrible. I can't, like, This guy, he has this video on the YouTube where he's screaming the entire B-movie script. I really appreciate the concept. I listened to some of it. It gets really stressful, but wow, and he really screamed the whole thing. That's wild.